that doesn't usually happen. Let's see what's up for Cancer. This is for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Right. We're going to turn over all of them. I want to see what's going on. Well, interestingly enough, Cancer, we have a little bit of a theme, especially towards the end here. So this, there we go. This card starts off, or the month starts off with the Six of Pentacles in May. And the Six of Pentacles has always felt like, to me, the generosity card. It possibly can, always mostly actually, can be with money and or your health. So either you're getting some new health tips, you're receiving tips from a doctor or a holistic practitioner, and or you're being helped with money, other people's money, which was always a nice thing. If someone wants to loan you, or maybe it's government, maybe it's IRS if you're here in the U.S., tax, getting your refund. But there is a bit of giving, and this also could be, because it's by this Four of Cups, you maybe feel like you've been overgiving, Cancer, and that would not be at all unlikely for you all, because you do have a tendency, as another sign or two, so I'm not just calling you out, but I am going to call you out, to give others before you give to yourself. And therefore, sometimes it creates this sense of, oh, I'm not feeling full. My heart's not feeling full. I'm a little bit dissatisfied, not feeling creative, not feeling like, although there's 3 cups and another one being given from the universe and actually coming out of this giving, there's something more that you all are wanting, Cancer. There's more pizzazz, more, what can you do for yourself? Is what I'm feeling. For you women, is it getting your hair done, or getting a massage, or some of you may be taking a trip by yourself. It could be a day trip and just really convening with nature, or going to a little town with antiques and shopping, or it might be a creative project. Maybe you're a painter or writer. I'm just saying there's a lot of giving that's going on one way or the other, but you need to feel more creative and yeah, I'll just say it that way, more creative, which is very interesting, because then, speaking of creativity, the Queen of Wands comes up, as well as the Two of Wands. And the Wand cards represent our work, what we do in life, what we're passionate about. So this Queen of Wands, she could represent a fire sign, Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. And this may be someone that you may want to emulate some of the way they handle their life. Maybe they think of themselves first. I mean, I know Aries do that. I love Aries. I have Aries clients and I love them. But that way they fill themselves up so that they can serve others. So, or you may have a fire sign in your life who's giving you possibly new direction, or giving you possibilities, or suggesting possibilities, because now you have this open door, you have 2 options, you're looking at your options through this world that you're holding, and saying, okay, one's really grounded. As you can see, this particular wand reaches the ground. This one's on top of and not reaching the ground. So one feels right. She's holding the one that's grounded. And interestingly enough, I mean, this could make sense in that particular way, but it can also make sense in the way that it's for you to step out of your box, Cancer, and to think of ways of making money just totally differently than you've ever done, or maybe that you've thought about in the past as a child or as a younger adult. And I feel like I've told you all this before, or at least mentioned this before. But she comes up and some of you are going to say, oh no, she's that witchy mother or mother-in-law, and I'm not being mean. But I feel like for some of you, because the court cards are different for every Cancer, you don't have the same birthday, same month, same time. But for some of you, she feels like she's more of an inspiration. And I feel like through her, you're going to be given options of where do I want to go next with my work. Okay, so let's see what the 2 major arcana cards. This is always when you want to draw that 5th card and say, okay, what's the answer? But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let you all think about it, ponder it, go inside of yourself and see what it is that's going to make you happy. Well, these 2 really want to come out. Not other people, but make you happy. Okay? Or you can, order a private reading and we'll take this further. There have been a couple readings during this session. I've wanted to pull a 5th card and I'm like, no, this is where you all kind of come into play and go in your insides, inner strength. And, if you want to communicate with me and bounce things back and forth, I'd love to do that with you. Oh, well, okay. So this is exactly what I was talking about. It's the Hermit card. Contemplating, taking time by yourself, gaining inner knowledge and growth. And being carefree. This is interesting. This is falling under this I'm not happy or I'm not satisfied, or even though I have everything I need, I'm not finding the joy and creativity. Well, here comes the Fool card and say, come on, Cancer. What you want needs to come from your own joy and happiness and not feeling like, uh-oh, but what if I don't make the right decision? Uh-oh, how will this affect everybody else? No, you have a net. So take that chance, take that risk. I mean, we're not talking about running across a freeway or anything weird like that. We're talking about something that you feel like kind of giddy you'd love to do. Do it, because you're going on the inside and saying, all right, I'm shining. See how the lantern, I want to use my wand here. So yeah, he's shining the lantern, on this Fool. This is where you gain your happiness, being open, fun, positive, childlike, not childish, but childlike, and trying something new. You have a net here. Don't worry. Okay. Let's look at the crystal and see what the crystal has to say for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Well, interestingly enough, the Mask, which is the person that I see in this crystal every so often, which has come up quite a bit during this series of videos, is coming up for you all, but it's coming up upside down, which means to me this is either something in the past, a person who's been deceitful, or you're able to just sort of whisk it off and not let it bother you, not let them bother you. So I love that for you all, Cancer. Okay, well, this is pretty darn obvious. Your totem animal for the month is definitely a dolphin. And so I don't know if you've gotten a dolphin before, but I'm getting large animals. I've gotten a kangaroo, a huge bear. I've gotten an elephant. For the other signs, you all definitely, it's a dolphin. Dolphins represent to me love. And I want to say love for yourself. Self-mastery. Self-mastery, you know what it is? It's loving yourself first, mastering what you want. Then you can give to others and nurture them. So, and give love to them. So you might want to look up dolphin, Google dolphin, and just find out even more about them. There's pretty amazing creatures. They're actually a lot smarter than they're finding studies or doing studies that are findings a lot more intelligent than we've ever known. Okay, so Google dolphin. All right. So I'm sort of seeing someone that looks like the Nine of Pentacles. So if you remember the Nine of Pentacles, it's this woman that's standing outside. She has pentacles around her, of course, 9 of them. She's beautifully dressed. There's a gorgeous home in the background. There's a lot of yellow in the card. So she's very happy and comfortable with herself, her comforts of life, her health. Yeah, so she's coming up. So I feel like that's where I want you all to think of yourself as the Nine of Pentacles. Google that card if you don't have the tarot and look at that card. Even if you're a male, I'm just saying, look at the card and feel how she has her bird on her shoulder, which she just feels very peaceful and that she has everything she needs, unlike the feeling here of the Four of Cups. Okay, Cancer? Anything else for Cancer? Well, there's that beautiful amber. So enlightenment, intuition, not feeling alone. Sometimes feeling alone, but that would have to do with the Hermit just needing to take that time alone. You know, sometimes we're our best friends. When we make best friends with our spirit and with our soul, we don't necessarily need all the outer things. We don't need the outer things to make us happy. We automatically manifest them. And it comes full circle with being a happy spirit. Okay, does that make sense? I feel like I'm preaching to you all, but it's an interesting read.